Good morning, good morning. What's up, folks? Happy New Year. How is everybody this morning? Screen sharing going here. Go. All right. What's up, Baby Plum? What's up, Jay Pulpit? Poppy? Strife? Good to see you. Harvey? The only James Amtrix? Thank you for being here. Get some coffee in here. Okay. So I hope everybody had a safe and happy New Year. Hope you got out and did something fun and used the long weekend to start to, we'll do two things really. One, kind of, recover, recuperate, rest your brain a little bit. As we get those longer breaks between trading days, it's always good to recharge those batteries. And then also to maybe, carve out some time to work on a new technical analysis skill or learning a new indicator or developing a new stock screener, getting ready for 2024, whatever the case might be. Hope you guys had some fun, got some rest, but ultimately worked in some productivity into the mix there somewhere. So I personally started working on some new scanners that I'm hoping will yield some very positive results and create a much better, much shorter list of things for at least for myself to be looking at, and of course anything I'm seeing I will be sharing with you all. So what's up, all or nothing? Good morning to you. So let's talk a little bit about where things are at with the market at the moment. We are seeing a little bit of a pullback going into the open today. Not all that shocking, and ultimately, I think still things look like they're on a pretty strong trend. Looking at the hourly here on S&P futures, it seems like we're trying to catch this 333 SMA as support. That could definitely bounce us from here. Also, right here inside this demand zone. So lots of things saying that this sell-off that we're seeing here pre-market is really not maybe too much to be concerned about, at least not yet. Also, not too surprised to see rejections around this 40.75 level. I think we talked about that last week, and really kind of getting through this next area of resistance, which would take us through 48.59 on ES, would be a kind of key moment to really sort of kicking things into high gear for potentially putting some pretty significant new all-time highs. So overall, just focus on the charts. Don't let the news or what's your biases get in the way too much. That is certainly, I think, one of the biggest challenges in trading, and doing some reflecting on the last year, looking at some of the trades that I either missed or didn't. I didn't handle correctly a lot of that as I thought about it in hindsight and looked at my trading journal. You know, showed that I was in some of those cases kind of allowing my bias and expectations to get in the way, which is a very easy thing for us to do, right? We all kind of want to have an opinion, and we want that opinion to be right. So you Poppy says he can't hear. Can everybody else hear me? Okay, I'm assuming so. Otherwise, I think I would be getting a lot more messages about not being able to hear me. Okay, yeah. Sorry, just typing him a message real quick. Bond settings in Discord. Okay. Um. So anyway, yeah, just kind of focus on the charts, watch what's happening there. Don't let these big sell-offs like that or like this shake you out. I mean, this ultimately took us up higher. This ultimately could take us up a little bit higher, very similar to this. Elevator down, stairs up, as they always say. All right, so I'm going to do a few trade plan recaps from the live stream we did last Thursday. I was tied up all weekend with different things going on, different uh, you know obligations, social obligations, and whatnot. So I didn't have a chance to do member selected tickers over the weekend. My apologies. I should be able to get to some of those again this coming weekend, but we did do some trade plans last Thursday on our live stream. So let's talk about those real quick, see how those have played out, and then we'll start working on some new ones. So if you guys have any ticker requests, please go ahead and start posting those in the live stream chat here. If you don't see the chat section, little word bubble icon top right hand corner of the window. If you have a bunch of avatar tiles and you don't see anybody typing back and forth like Strife and Navy Plum and Poppy saying he can't hear, make sure you pop open that chat window. That's where you can type messages to me and where you can give me your ticker requests for us to do some trade plans for. So going back to last Thursday's live stream plans and the ones that we looked at there. We had Apple here, never really gave us a confirmed break to the upside. If we looked at this on the 15-minute, none of these candles, with the exception of the very first 15-minute candle of the day, and I talk about this often, generally speaking, don't be too eager to jump at anything, in the first 15-30 minutes of the day, depending on your risk tolerance and approach, because you can get caught in these fake out kind of moves like that. So again, by my approach to trading, I wouldn't have touched that. Then from there, all that we saw was multiple clean rejections off the call entry level that ultimately led us to a pullback. We even broke down below, back tested the put entry level, and now we're seeing a big gap down and move through all of the price targets and now trying to catch this, what is that level? 187.78 level. As support, we'll see if that actually holds. It's a 4-hour level, so it's a decent one, but ultimately Apple selling off strongly and bringing the markets with it here this morning. So congrats if you swung puts, either going into close Friday on this second back test of things that ultimately kind of takes us through all those price targets and then some, or if you were kind of gutsy and eager enough to take a shot at any of these rejections off that call entry level, very strong level there at 194.40, and I think that was that was our high of the day to the penny that we caught with that trade plan, and it's rejected all the way down. So make sure that you are happy New Year to you, buddy. Glad you can hear now. So make sure you're paying attention to kind of ways to re-engineer these levels. Again, if we're looking at a call entry level, that means it's significant resistance, and over it, upside opens up, but it's going to be hard to get over it, so not a terrible idea to play reversals off those levels sometimes. But just make sure you like the setup, make sure it all, makes sense to you. So anyway, all targets achieved and then some to the downside for the Apple trade plan. Congrats if you caught that at any point. It is continuing to print. We also did Tesla last Thursday, right? Yep, last Thursday. And this was a really nice one. Played out same day, gave us our entry same day as we did the plan, broke down, back tested that put entry level, rejected all the way down to PT2, tried to hold that, did wind up being very close to our low of the day there at PT2, tried to hold it, but ultimately just wound up kind of consolidating, going sideways between the extended hours, after hours, and pre-market. Ultimately dumped down and hit PT3 plus there on Friday, so you could have been all out without having to swing through the weekend. Congrats on that one. And now we are coming and back testing that third price target for puts as resistance. Also a little bit of a confluence there, so 249.05 will be a very interesting level to watch on Tesla to see if it can't try to climb back above that or not. And then last but not least, Microsoft. This one has been a little bit of a weird PA and really kind of, we started to get a confirmed break here going into the close on Thursday of our call entry level. Did make a run for PT1, but didn't quite get there, kind of stalled out quite a bit shy of that price target, so certainly not a hit there. Ultimately pulled back and then, got definitely below our stop loss there, and even a test and rejection a second time. Currently kind of back in the sort of no trade range, but Microsoft, I say on this plan, I'd want to take another look at this. I'm not really sure if I just missing a level here, or if I got too aggressive with this first price target, or what why this didn't play out. Again, not every trade plan plays out, so that is also part of it. Also, end of year, be very careful. We get very strange price action, and generally speaking, I don't trade much, and in some cases, I don't even watch the market during those. The last week or 2 weeks of December, it just gets to be so sideways and weird price action. So anyway, with that, those are our trade plan recaps. So I hope you guys made some money on Apple. That's combining Apple and Tesla there. Apple or Tesla, Microsoft again, kind of funky price action on this one. Overall, long term with their what they're doing in the AI space. I'm very bullish on Microsoft, so keep an eye on it. But I would like to revisit this plan as a whole and write up a new one before we try to tackle it. So, with that said, we've got some new requests here from Navy Plum, All or Nothing, Big Boy. So let's see how many of these we can get through. Let's start off with IWM. Okay. So IWM is one I haven't charted much, but we have done a few trade plans on it in the past. Looks like our most recent one was a couple Thursdays ago, back in mid-December. So, but I haven't, like I said, haven't charted it much, so may not have all my levels dialed in just yet. But let's take a look at what we've got here. Start bigger picture. So let's start real big picture just for a moment, just to get my bearings. Whatever this is not relevant anymore. IWM still has room before we get into all time. Well, let's double check that. Yeah, still has room actually before it gets to all-time high areas. So that is interesting. Definitely have right here we're going to want to pay attention to. Let's see, what else do we have? It's right there. It's very close. I'd say it's close enough for a weekly level. That's another interesting one. Just want to see where we're at with potential levels if we do kind of make a good push to the upside, although may not be relevant anytime in the near future, but we'll only one way to find out. Always good to have the levels there just in case. All right, so it's a good one. That's all I needed to see to confirm that one. Any other levels? I don't think I'm going to need to look too much higher than that. I think we're going to see too much more. These higher time frames. So let's start digging into some of these hourly time frames. Let's get back to the beginning here. Current, I should say. And what kind of action do we have up in this range? Let's see. interesting. Yeah, getting more interesting. Yeah. Okay, we might be good actually on adding a bunch of targets to the upside. Yeah, because I think we'll have PT3 probably somewhere in this neighborhood. All right, so anything else kind of relevant to how we want to call or look for potential upside entries? Yeah, everything's kind of pointing to an entry back over 202.05 to me. Question is, first target, so it bounces around this 203.38 leveler. Interesting. Gonna need to go back a little ways though. Let's see. Here we go. Yep. I should have zoomed out. Though I do like 202.05. Again, I just saw another big rejection on that. I'll point that out here in just a second. There is a little gap to fill actually, still. Here at 203.13. I wouldn't ignore that. Kind of a tight first price target, but gap fills tend to lead to reversals. I personally would, yeah, not want to tempt fate with that. I'll double check that here in just a second, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that gap's still open. Then over that, I wonder if I have this weekly level just a little, it's not really catching some of these candles the way I would expect it to. Check this real quick, just to make sure that I don't think I need to adjust this. How did I come up with a weekly level there in the first place? It's starting to become my question. Why did I put that level there? Unless it's a level we used quite some time ago, but yeah, now we're nowhere near that. I don't know. I guess maybe. Yeah, I don't take this level off. I'm not really sure what I was doing with putting a line there. I'm no longer seeing it. Whatever I saw when I drew that level, I'm not seeing it now, which is something that doesn't really happen very often. So yeah, I'm not sure what I was what I was thinking or doing there. All right, let's go back though. Let's figure this out now. All right, so we've got our entry over 202.05. Again, I think we've probably got a first price target there at 203.13. Let's just confirm that that gap has not. Okay, maybe that gap has filled. Yeah, it has. Okay, so that's just a 4-hour level then. Actually, I think that was an hourly level. Take that back. All right, so then what becomes our first price target? Yeah, I'm thinking this guy right about here. Okay, so getting back on track. First target right there about 203.89. Could stretch a little higher, but I like that. Seems like the stronger level over that 202.05. over that, I think we could take a shot at this 204.47, I believe that, 205.30. Could take a shot at that. There is something sitting right down here. This is also an interesting pop and rejection, but it's not, at least not here locally. I'm not seeing much else on that line, that level specifically. IWM plan's a little trickier than I thought it was going to be, but I think I like that as our second price target. Could certainly see a rejection around this 204.80 level, so keep an eye on that. But at the same time, you should be moving your stops up. You should be scaling out. PT1 becomes your stop loss, in my opinion. So you should still be in good shape even if we don't fully reach that second price target, but I think we will. And then third price target, I do like this daily level right here, just looking at this rejection and bounce right there, at least attempt to bounce. There is a little bit higher that it could go, but I think it's a smart third price target. There at 206.68. Yeah, and that gap had definitely filled, so I also like with our second price target being near some of these highs around this area. So then the question becomes stop loss average down level. Already I'm kind of looking at that 201.10. Just take a quick look though at any previous moves through this range. See if that kind of confirms. Yeah. I'm just looking at how all these candles just plan for upside. So solid plan there for the upside, I'd say. Good risk reward. So this is what our upside trade plan looks like. Maybe a little bit of a tight window as far as, you know, the room we're giving it before it hits the stop loss. But again, IWM generally speaking not super volatile. It has been lately. But generally speaking, it's a little bit of a slower mover. So, downside trade plan. New question. It looks like this pre-market support is really a key level, I'd say. You know, I'd be a little bit careful about getting into anything too close to the open, jumping, you know, we talked about this a moment ago with Microsoft, being too eager to jump into a trade right at, or, you know, too close to the open. We are testing it right now, though. It does look like it opens room. I've seen a lot of rejections and kind of a downside area of opportunity that could be capitalized on from 198.96 down to pretty close to this 196.54 level. Just check one thing here. Yeah, I think so. That is interesting. It shifts those just a little bit. Sorry, I'm looking at the difference where things kind of sit if we adjust or don't adjust for dividends. It's something I go back and forth on often because I feel like the levels overall are the levels, regardless of what dividends are being paid out or not. But that is to be accounted for as far as what the returns are like on a stock. Just not seeing anything that's like super clear though. That's the weird part about it. I mean, it looks like it's a pretty obvious short, but the price action just gets all over the place. Yeah, I keep seeing this 198.96 level. Question is though, do we have better stop loss than 209? It can't be too tight. Let's see this out a little bit more. I'm sure I'm missing some levels in here. That's the other thing. Again, I've not charted IWM thoroughly. Generally speaking, I'm watching QQQ and SPY a lot more than IWM, but it has been a mover lately, so I do like the idea of building up some analysis on this here. $199.58. Somewhere right there, probably. Let's check this real quick. Yeah, it's kind of catching close to this where I was looking. The potential stop loss. It could be that this is just a little. Yeah, I think this level is just a little bit higher. Probably sits more like that. Yeah, okay. It's starting to look like a something I'd want to go after now. First target. Yeah, I like this. I'm kind of looking at this area as kind of PTs 1 and 2. There is a gap to fill, though, to the downside. Well, double check, but 90% sure we do still have a gap to fill to the downside. Do have a level here, too. I just didn't have it on my chart yet. So I think it's kind of tight, PT 1 and 2, but that gap does fill right there at 197.33. And below that, this bottom right here is pretty interesting to me. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely an established level there, so it's not just a one-off sort of, oh, we caught a bottom there that we're never really going to ever see again. So think what our, what's this should be. Yeah. Yeah, so again, tight PT 1, 2, and then room opens up to PT 3 again. So this is what we're looking at on IWM. Stop loss there. Let's nudge this over and get our short position set up. Whoops. All right, so let's talk through this real quick. All right, IWM trade plan coming at you. So what we're looking for here on IWM is a break above 202.05. That should give us targets at 193. I'm sorry, golly, I'm all over the place reading things on my chart here. 202.05. That should give us a target at 203.89. Second target at 205.30. Third target at 206.68. With a stop loss average down at 201.10. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 198.96. That should give us targets at 197.87 and then 197.33. Again, tight PTs 1 and 2 there. ultimate downside target, third target 196.08 with a stop loss average down at 199.70. That is your IWM trade plan. Thank you for the request, Navy Plum, as always. All right, coin. Let's see if we can get through coin pretty quickly. I think I got good levels on it already. All of the crypto related stocks seem to be gapping up this morning. Coin no different. Already kind of pulling back, which is interesting. May want to fill this gap before it tries to push higher. And yeah, the density of my levels for coin are actually a little bit lower in the range here, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of hunting here, but that's okay. It's oh boy, we're just in a range of very little established price action, which is also somewhat intriguing. All right. Question is, can we sniff out any levels in here? The answer is yes. There is one right here that we just rejected. For that. Yeah. Interesting. Lots of bottom action here. No resistance, though. So this is an interesting one. Let's see if we test that as a resistance coming back up. Yeah, another level here. Okay, that should be good for, at least for near-term trade plans. Let's take a look through this section here. Yeah, again, this is going to be interesting because we're not, well, I guess it's a positive because we're not going to have to go back and forth on the chart a whole bunch to find any levels that may exist. But have not, coin has not spent much time in this range really setting good support and resistance levels, so a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay. Who doesn't like a challenge? And yeah, so let's sit right there. Alright, that should be good for those daily levels there. Let's take a look at this 4-hour chart. Should have made note of the date, so I could have just jumped right here. What are we looking at? April of 22. Okay. Keep that in mind next time the chart shifts on me. As we change time frames. Where is this level at? This is an interesting one. Yeah, I think it's right here. Yeah, I guess it's in there. It's another weird one. It's seen lots of support tests around this level, but not a lot of resistance. Resistance came in a little bit lower. It's a little bit more like here. All right. Well, I don't see it. I'm not going to force it. Let's go back to April of 22. Let's go. That's much faster. Yeah, so it's right about here. This is an interesting level 2 right there. Um, hmm. Yeah. All right, let's see where that puts us as far as where we're at here pre-market. It's a lot of resistance all through there. I didn't see any levels there, at least not yet. I just want to check this real quick. Stuart, so what I'm doing is I'm looking for support and resistance right now. What I'm looking for, if you want a very general take on it, is kind of I want good clean touches on either side of a level. I want to see both support and resistance taking place. Generally speaking, depending on the time frame, I sort of set rules for myself as far as how many touches I want to see. It's kind of a longer explanation than that, but that's ultimately what I'm doing. It's something I spend a lot of time on when I do mentoring with folks. I'm really digging into kind of how to spot and draw support resistance, things to look for, how to come up with some rules for how you're going to do it. And really kind of coming up with a process for drawing support and resistance. You want it to kind of be the same every time. That way, there's more predictable results from those levels. I guess is probably the best way for me to say that. All right, so I think what we're looking for here on IWM coin. Golly, my brain is not kicked into 2024 yet, apparently. It's saying all kinds of weird stuff. All right, 194.08, definitely the first target over that. There's an interesting level right here that I think is our second target. I have not marked it yet, but I probably haven't looked at this area of price action yet on the hourly. Definitely like our stop loss being that weekly level there. Third price target. Interesting that these come very close to that weekly level, but don't quite get to it. Kind of another early rejection there. Yeah, I would shoot just a little bit lower. Probably right about, yeah, right about here. Yeah, yep. That kind of confirms what I was looking for, or what I was thinking. Okay, so That gives us entry, all three targets to the upside. That looks good to go to me. This is an interesting level here on the hourly. Don't have yet. Clearly, resistance flip to support there. Generally speaking, I'd want to check this out a little bit more, but in the interest of time and the fact that I do have to get this live stream wrapped up so I can go do the SPY plan, we're going to go with it. So I think, yeah, I'm going to switch this. Whoops, change this up a little bit. This is, god dang, what am I doing? This is what I'm looking at already. Like this is an entry. Like this first target. It's also a gap fill there, so scale out heavy at that first target. Could reverse off that. Second target, this weekly level. Third target, yeah, I think we got them right there. 1, 2, 3. From our previous trade plan, what were our upside targets will now be upside resistance targets are now downside support targets, which is what you would expect. All right, so go along. What we're looking for. Go short. This is what we're looking for. And let's just flip the indicators on, make sure nothing changes on mine based on those. The answer's not really. I think overall, coin as well as most crypto related stocks looking very bullish right now. We've been saying that for quite some time. All right, so here is our coin. Is there a tone? I'm not following your question there, all or nothing. But if you want to, yeah, let me know what you're driving at. Happy to try to answer. All right, so what we're looking for here on coin is we're looking for a break over 189.64. That should give us targets at 194.08, 199.66, and 206.62 with a stop loss average down at 186.35. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 168.30. That should give us targets at 162.15, 156.97, and 153.34 with a stop loss average down at 172.95. Let's see what all or nothing's actual question is, and then we will call it a live stream for today. All or nothing is typing. Oh, okay. Yep. Well, if you have a sound, yeah, sound is good, I think, as far as everybody's told me. So, but if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot me a DM. Let me know. All right. Oh, one quick reminder. I don't know if it's been posted yet, but it'll probably go in the announcements channel today. The monthly surveys and our last survey for 2023 should go up in the announcements channel at some point. I would, again, think today or by tomorrow at the latest. That's where you guys weigh in on how you think, who you think is, providing you with the most insight, the most information, the best alerts, etc. So please make sure that you do participate in those monthly surveys. It is critical to how we evaluate ourselves, how we gauge our performance, and how we decide, who to promote and how the payout pool gets divvied up. So it's an important part of our process here at Xtrades. Also, make sure that you are speaking up for anybody who you don't see with a top earner or some kind of leadership role. If you see somebody who's contributing a lot and bringing a lot of good insights to the table, make sure that you're speaking up for those folks so they can get into the mix with the top earners team as a prospect and could potentially move up the ranks here at Xtrades. So thank you guys so much. I want to say again, Happy New Year. I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm really glad we get to start off 2024 with one of these live streams. So let's keep them going. We'll be back Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you guys here, same bat time, same bat channel. And with that, let's go ahead and remind ourselves of the thing that we want to have in our brains every day as we go into 2024. That is, make sure that you're planning your trades and trading your plans. Go out there, get some green. I will see you guys in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Happy New Year. I will talk to you guys very, very soon.